momentarily for your streaming to start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Tonight, we come to you live from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan, as your Washington Wild Things play Game 2 of their three-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through all the action here for the Wild Things in 2016. Wild Things able to take Game 1 of this series last night, winning by a score of 5-4. Beach Bums tried to come back in the game, but could not, as your Wild Things held on for the victory. Listen to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Going to have a recap of that game for you coming up. Also going to sit down with right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins 3 for 5 last night, 2 solo home runs, and a single in the ball game. We'll talk a little bit about his multi-home run game and how big it is getting that first win here in Traverse City after taking 2 out of 3 from the Windy City Thunderbolts. Also going to take a look at the lineups and have your pitching matchup here tonight on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now, last night, as we said, the Wild Things able to take Game 1 of the three-game series from the Traverse City Beach Bums, winning by the narrow margin of 5-4 in the ball game. The Beach Bums would take the lead early on, as in the bottom of the second, Elijah Trail walked to lead things off. Steven Patterson would then double. There'd be runners at second and third for the Beach Bums with nobody out. Next batter, Giancarlo Bergoni would strike out looking before Kendall Patrick walked to load the bases. Then Jeff Debut would pop out in foul territory. Looked like starter Matt Fraud might get out of the inning, but Marcus Dirks would then deliver a 2 RBI double up the middle. Both Elijah Trail and Steven Patterson scored. That gave Traverse City a 2-0 lead. Next batter, Ryan Bacher, he would walk, and Jose Vargas would strike out to end the inning. So after 2 innings of play, the score was Traverse City 2, your Washington Wild Things nothing. Then the big 4th inning for the Washington Wild Things happened. The first pitch of the inning was hit out of the park. It was a solo home run by Dave Popkins. Popkins' 12th home run of the season. That made the score 2-1 Traverse City. Next batters, Jimmy Yezzo would fly out. Alvaro Gonzalez would ground out before Kyle Pollock and Jamadric Magruder back-to-back 2-out singles put runners at first and second with 2 men out. Then Austin Wobrock walked to load the bases, and Andrew Heck came through. A slow roller to the left side that Elijah Trail had to charge in on, was not able to handle, and Heck reached that, brought in Kyle Pollock, and that brought in Kyle Pollock, and that tied the game at 2. Next batter, Chris Grayson. He'd deliver with an RBI single to right. Coming in to score would be Jamadric Magruder. That gave the Wild Things the lead on the day. It was 3-2. Ricky Rodriguez would then ground out to end the inning. Next inning, Dave Popkins leading off again and does the same thing he did in the 4th inning. Another solo home run. This is 13th home run of the year over the left center field wall, and that extended the Wild Things lead to 4-2. Next batter, Jimmy Yezzo would single before Alvaro Gonzalez flew out. Kyle Pollock lined out on a nice diving play by third baseman Elijah Trail, and Jamadric Magruder would pop out to end the inning. So it was 4-2 Wild Things, after 4.5 innings of play. Bottom of the 5th, Traverse City would get on the board as Marcus Dirks walked to lead things off. He would then steal second base, so there's a runner at second, nobody out before Ryan Bacher flew out to shallow center. Jose Vargas would then strike out, and Will Kendra would come through with an RBI double. Dirks came around to score, and that cut the Wild Things lead to 4-3 in the ball game. Will Kendra then was on second, tried to steal third, but was caught stealing by Kyle Pollock. That would end the inning. So after 5, the Wild Things led this one by the score of 4-3. Wild Things would get a much-needed insurance run, as it proved very costly in that 8th inning, as Jamadric Magruder walked to lead things off. Then Austin Wobrock would ground out. Andrew Heck grounded out, and Chris Grayson came through with an RBI double. Grayson was thrown out trying to extend that double to a triple to end the inning. Then in the bottom of the 9th, Devin Davis coming in for the save. Davis looking for his 5th save of the year, as Zach Groats has been moved to the starters rule for the Washington Wild Things, so we did not see him in the save spot. The first 2 men Davis faced got out pretty quickly. A 4-pitch at-bat to Steven Patterson. Patterson would ground out. Then Giancarlo Bergoni grounded out in part of a 2-pitch at-bat before Kendall Patrick would walk. Casey Rodriguez came in a pinch run for Patrick at first base, and then Jeff Dubuque came through with an RBI double. Rodriguez came around to score all the way from first base, and that cut the Wild Things lead to 5-4, but thankfully they got that insurance run in the 8th inning before Marcus Dirks flew out to end the ball game. Winning pitcher in this one was Matt Fraud, and Fraud improves to 6-6 on the year. He went 6 innings in this ball game, gave 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, walked 5 and struck out 8. Took him 105 pitches to get through the outing. Wild Things also used 2 other pitchers. Colin Stanley, 2 scoreless innings of relief, gave up 1 hit in the ball game, struck out 2 and walked nobody. Devin Davis picking up his 5th save of the year. He went an inning of work, giving up 1 run on 1 hit, walking 1 and not striking out a batter. The losing pitcher in this ball game for Traverse City was Michael Shreves. Shreves went 6 in this one, gave up 4 runs, all those runs earned on 9 hits, walked 3 and struck out 2. Took him 94 pitches to get through 6 innings. In total, the Beach Bums used 4 pitchers: Jacob Lanning, Joe Anthony Rivera, and James Ball, combining for 3 innings of work, giving up just 1 run, walking 1 and striking out 3 between the 3 of them out of the Traverse City bullpen. So your Wild Things picked up the win. With the win, they go to 1 game under 500, now sitting at 38-39, just 4.5 games back of the first place Joliet Slammers and 2 games back of the Normal Corn Belters for that second wild card spot. Wild Things in the thick of a playoff race as this season comes to an end. We're going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to have our sit down with Wild Things right fielder Dave Popkins. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball and the Washington Wild Things pregame show right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by Wild Things outfielder Dave Popkins. And Dave, multi-homer game for you last night. Can you talk about what was working for you at the plate against Traverse City?
Just at a big field like this, the ball just does not carry here at all. It's a graveyard. So I knew that I just had to be short and not try to do too much. And luckily I hit 2 balls pretty squared up, and one carried to right and one carried to a little left to center. So worked out.
And following your first home run, you guys ended up scoring 3 runs in that inning, batted around in that inning, in fact. They have the saying in baseball, hitting is contagious. How true is that when you have a big inning going like that?
Oh, it's not just true in an inning, it's true in a whole season. If you got 3 or 4 guys hitting the ball, hitting the cover off the ball, it's just everyone's going to perform at a higher rate of play. On the contrary, if you have a team that's all struggling, you have 7, 8 guys that are struggling, the person that's probably should be doing a lot better is going to be also struggling, just because it's you kind of feed off your teammates, you feed off the game, you feed off the momentum.
And last night you guys went up against Michael Shreves. You've actually seen him one other time in the season. How does that make your approach a little bit easier, having seen the guy before coming into the game last night, as opposed to facing someone new like tonight?
The approach is you're a little more refined. You know what the guy likes to go to in certain counts, and you know what side of the plate he likes to pitch on. And like tonight, there's a new guy, and we've never seen him, but usually in his warm-ups, the style of pitches he throws, you can usually tell what kind of pitcher he is.
Currently joined by outfielder Dave Popkins, and after taking 2 out of 3 from Windy City, how big was it coming in here and taking the first game from Traverse City last night?
Every game from here on out is going to be huge, but like I said, yesterday doesn't matter. Today is all that matters. Now today becomes that big game, and we got to win today.
And Matt Snyder on the mound tonight, making his second Wild Thing start, 3rd appearance as a Wild Thing. What have you seen from him on the mound as a defender playing behind him?
He's a good pitcher. He keeps people on their toes, and he mixes up his locations a lot. I saw one of his at bats last time he started. He hit every spot of location, up and away, up and in, down and away, down and in. So you have a guy like that that's throwing every side of the box, and it makes it very tough to have an approach against.
And finally tonight, what are the keys to victory? You saw these guys last night. What do you bring from last night's game into tonight to give you a series victory here over Traverse City?
Keys of victory is just keep the momentum going and really feed off each other and pick each other up. You know, if one guy doesn't get the job done with a runner on base, the next guy comes in and gets it done. And just to know that there's no pressure on each situation because the next guy is going to get your back.
Thanks, Dave. Good luck today.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 2 of this three-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things enter tonight just 2 games out of the wild card race here in the Frontier League. And take a look at those playoff standings for you. The number 1 seed held by the Southern Illinois Miners. They have a record of 51-27. They lead the Frontier League West. The Joliet Slammers, who lead the Frontier League East, hold the number 2 spot. Their record of 43-35. Then the Evansville Otters hold that first wild card spot, 45-32. And the Normal Corn Belters sit at 40-37. They hold the second wild card spot. Then ahead of your Wild Things, the Gateway Grizzlies. Grizzlies a record of 40-39. They are 1 game back of the Normal Corn Belters. Then your Washington Wild Things, 38-39, sit 2 back of the Corn Belters for that number 4 seed. Then the River City Rascals 4 back at 37-42. Windy City 36-42. They're 4.5 back. Lake Erie 5 back, 36-43. The Florence Freedom sit at 35-43. They're 5.5 back. Schaumburg at 34-45. They are 7 back. And the Traverse City Beach Bums 33-44. They round out the Frontier League with the Frontier League worst record, and they are 7 games back as well of the Normal Corn Belters for that second wild card spot. Wild Things trying to make a push. The way the playoffs work is the number 1 seed would host the number 4 seed, and number 2 would host number 3. So if the season had ended today, the Southern Illinois Miners would host the Normal Corn Belters, and the Joliet Slammers would host the Evansville Otters. Now the highest seed would host games 1, 3, and 5, while the lower seed would host games 2 and 4. Both sets are best of 5 in the divisional round, and then the championship series, another best of 5 game where the higher seed hosts 1, 3, and 5, and the lower seed hosting 2 and 4. So the season coming to an end, your Wild Things making a playoff push here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll have you covered all season long with Washington Wild Things baseball. Getting ready for Game 2 of a 3-game series tonight here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. The Traverse City Beach Bums just been introduced on the field. The national anthem about ready to play here at Werfel Park. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have lineups and the first pitch for you. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here in Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. The Beach Bums are on the field right now. They'll align like this defensively. In the outfield left to right, Ryan Bacher, Marcus Dirks, and Jeff Debut. Left side of the infield held down by Jose Vargas and Will Kenger. Right side by Stephen Patterson and Giancarlo Bergoni. Behind the plate is Kendall Patrick, catching Augie Gallardo. Gallardo making his professional debut today. Pitched for Eastern Michigan University in his senior season in 2006 with Eastern Michigan. Went to 4-4 with a 4.18 ERA in 75 in the third innings. Gave up 83 hits, 40 runs, 35 of those earned, while walking 26 and striking out 74 in his senior season with Eastern Michigan earlier this year. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder Andrew Heck. Batting second and playing in center field, Chris Grayson. Hitting third at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth at first base, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth, designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Batting seventh and catching, Kyle Pollock. Hitting eighth at second base, Jamadrick Magruder. And rounding out the Washington Wild Things lineup is their shortstop, Austin Wobrock. On the mound for the Wild Things tonight is left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder so far in the year, a record of 1-0 and a 4.26 ERA. Ready for baseball here in the top of inning number 1 between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums as Andrew Heck making his way to the plate to lead things off here in this ball game. Heck so far on the year hitting .280 with no home runs and 14 RBIs at .280 average. Good for third on this Washington Wild Things team. Had some rain earlier today, but now clear skies here at Werfel Park. Another great day for baseball. Here's the pitch from Gallardo, and that one is in there for a strike. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. First pitch tonight thrown at 7:07 p.m. Eastern Time, and the temperature outside, a cool 76 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. The 0-1, and that one's on the outside corner as well. No balls and 2 strikes. Augie Gallardo making his professional baseball debut. Pitched for Eastern Michigan in earlier this season, his senior season. This pitch grounded to short. Will Kenger charging, handles it on the hop, throwing to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things to start this game, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the year hitting .272, 2 home runs, and 14 RBIs on the season. 1 man out here in the top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Augie Gallardo retiring the first man he faces here in professional baseball. Pounded the strike zone there in that at bat against Andrew Heck. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. First ball that Gallardo has thrown on the night with Eastern Michigan. Walked 26 and 75 in the third inning, so very good in terms of those numbers. Next pitch, and that one's on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count for the Wild Things. Seeing a new pitcher. Key to the game, attack him early on. If he's going to pound the strike zone, make use of his pitches and try to do something. The 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Grayson takes it, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 on the Wild Things center fielder. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And Grayson takes this one low as well, so the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. After retiring Andrew Heck rather quickly here in this first inning, Gallardo down 3-1 now to Grayson. Has his sign. Here's the offering. And Grayson will foul this one off to the screen, so the count will go full now with 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Grayson in that second hole on the year. His average sitting at .272, good for fourth on the team, behind Andrew Heck, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez. Gallardo's 3-2 pitch, and this ball fouled back by Chris Grayson, gets back over the stadium, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck man for the Washington Wild Things is their third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez was the DH in last night's ball game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first. Gallardo's offering. And this ball popped foul off to the left. Giving it a look is Jose Vargas, but he'll watch that one go into the seats foul. for the Wild Things. Coaching on the base paths in this one. At third base is their manager, Greg Langben. And at first base is the hitting coach, Mike Marshall. Gallardo looking in, going through the signs, has one, he's set, and the 3-2 offering. And Grayson lining this one to right field. Jeff Debut running back on it, a couple of steps in front of the track, and he makes a running catch. Very nice play out there by Jeff Debut, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Washington Wild Things here in the top of the first, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the year is hitting .295, 5 home runs, and 26 RBIs on the season. That .295 average, good for second on the team behind Dave Popkins. Umpires for tonight's game behind home plate, Drew Ashcraft, and on the bases is Phil Pupillo. Here's the pitch from Gallardo, and Rodriguez takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things trying to get back to 500 tonight. They sit at 38-39 entering play. Here's the 0-1, and that one's just off the inside part of the plate. Count goes to 1-1. Gallardo attacking the inside part of the plate here against Ricky Rodriguez early on. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And a swing and a foul ball at the plate by Rodriguez. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out here in this top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Augie Gallardo for the Beach Bums making his professional debut here in tonight's ball game. Signed today prior to the game out of Eastern Michigan, undrafted out of Eastern Michigan, getting a chance with the Beach Bums here tonight. Has his sign, he's set in the 1-2 pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one just high for a ball. Count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count after retiring Andrew Heck on 3 pitches. Gallardo had to throw 8 pitches in the at-bat to Chris Grayson before retiring him. Now a 2-2 count here on Rodriguez. Gallardo's 2-2. And this ball hit foul off to the right back into the stand, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out. Wild Things third baseman. Ricky Rodriguez was the DH last night as Alvaro Gonzalez handled the third base duties for your Wild Things. Gallardo looking in, has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez. He strikes out, and that ends the inning. First professional strikeout for Augie Gallardo. And 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the first. After a half inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Your Washington Wild Things aligned defensively like this in the outfield left to right. Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Jimmy Yezzo. Kyle Pollock will be behind the plate, catching tonight's starter Matt Snyder. Snyder so far in the year, 1-0, a 4.26 ERA. Appearing in his third game, making his second start, has shown 6 1/3 innings of work, giving up 4 runs, 3 of those runs earned on 8 hits, walking 3, and striking out 4 on the season. This is third game, second start for the Washington Wild Things. For the Traverse City Beach Bums, they'll line up like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Batting second in left field, Ryan Bacher. Hitting third at third base, Jose Vargas. Batting fourth, the shortstop, Will Kenger. In the 5 spot at second base, Steven Patterson. Batting sixth, designated hitter, Elijah Trail. Batting 7th at first base, Giancarlo Bergoni. Hitting 8th and catching, Kendall Patrick. And batting 9th in right field is Jeff Debut. On the mound for the Traverse City Beach Bums, as you saw, Augie Gallardo making his first professional start here in this one. Matt Snyder finishes his warm-up tosses, and making his way to the plate to lead things off in this bottom of the first is Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far in the year hitting .250, 1 home run, and 18 RBIs. Drove in 2 of his team's 4 runs last night with that 2 RBI double in inning number 2 in the Wild Things' eventual 5-4 victory. Matt Snyder on the mound, making his second start as a Washington Wild Things, the left-hander, facing off against the left-handed batter, Marcus Dirks. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Dirks takes this one for a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Matt Snyder last time out, a very good start for the Wild Things. 5 1/3, just giving up 1 run against the Lake Erie Crushers. Has his sign, the 0-1, and this ball fouled off by Dirks, so quickly Snyder ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. With Matt Snyder, key for him is work ahead and stay ahead. If he falls behind, he has a tendency to put pitches over the middle of the plate and gives batters a chance to hit. Here's the 0-2 offering. And this one grounded toward third. Diving stop by Rodriguez to his feet. The throw. And what a defensive play to start the bottom of the first for the Wild Things. 5-3 on the putout. And 1 up, 1 down for Traverse City here in the bottom of the first. Rodriguez diving to his left, making the play, and getting it to his feet in time to throw out a speedy Marcus Dirks for out number 1. 1 man out here in the bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far in the year, hitting .263, 1 home run, and 25 RBIs. 1 man out here in this bottom of the first after that nice diving play there by Ricky Rodriguez. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Bacher pops this one up. Shallow right field. Dave Popkins going over towards the foul line. He'll camp under it, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Traverse City here in the bottom of the first. Matt Snyder making quick work of the first 2 hitters, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far hitting .305, 12 home runs, and 43 RBIs on the year. 2 men out, bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Vargas was the DH last night for Traverse City, out there at third here this evening. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Vargas takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. First ball Snyder's thrown on the night. Walked 2 his last time out, along with striking out 3 in the game. Has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped up. Shallow left field. Austin Wobrock going out. So is Magruder and Grayson. Grayson will call them all off, and he makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Beach Bums here in the first, and after 1 inning here at Werfel Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would go 1-2-3 against Augie Gallardo. Andrew Heck grounded out, Chris Grayson flew out, and Ricky Rodriguez struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, 4, 5, and 6, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Justin Garcia facing off against the right-hander Augie Gallardo. Now Gallardo, in his first ever professional appearance, pitched out of Eastern Michigan his senior season in 2016 at the college level for Augie Gallardo. He pitched for 2 different colleges, Eastern Michigan in 2015 and 2016, and then Mount San Jacinto College for the 2013 and 2014 seasons, making his professional debut tonight for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Stepping in to lead things off for your Wild Things here in this top of the second is right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the year hitting .296 with 13 homers and 43 RBIs. Gallardo looks in, has his sign. Here's the offering. And a swing and a miss there by Popkins. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Dave Popkins hitting 2 home runs in last night's ball game. His 12th and 13th homers of the season, leading the Wild Things to the 5-4 victory. Gallardo's 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Popkins, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Gallardo's pounded 2 high fastballs here by Dave Popkins, swung and missed at both. With both home runs last night, he also hit him on the first pitch he saw in the at-bat. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss there by Popkins. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the second. Second strikeout of the day for Augie Gallardo, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the year hitting .226, 10 home runs, and 32 RBIs. One man out here in the top of the second after Dave Popkins strikes out. Gallardo pounding the strike zone to start this second inning. Retired Heck on 3 pitches in inning number 1, then went full to Grayson on a 2-2 count on Rodriguez. First pitch here to Yezzo, and that one's hot. That one's at the letters for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count to the Wild Things first baseman. Gallardo's 0-1, and Yezzo checks his swing, but takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Gallardo's retired the first 4 Wild Things he's faced here in his professional debut. Has his sign, the 1-1. And this ball fouled off by Yezzo, so the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. Second game back starting after suffering an ankle injury on last Thursday night against the Lake Erie Crushers. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Yezzo takes this one for a called strike 3. That one hitting the inside corner, and that's out number 2 for the Wild Things here in the top of the second. Third strikeout of the day for Augie Gallardo now. And with 2 outs in top of inning number 2, that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far in the year hitting .167, no home runs, and 1 RBI, playing in just his 5th game as a Wild Thing. 2 for 12 to start his Wild Things career. 2 men out top of the second. No score for your Wild Things against the Traverse City Beach Bums. Here's Gallardo's pitch, and Garcia takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Garcia getting a chance at DH today. We've seen him both at first and in left field in his short time with the Wild Things. Here's the 1-0. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Garcia featured mostly at first base while Jimmy Yezzo was healing from his ankle injury. He has 2 games at first, 2 games in left, and now this game is a DH. Here's the 1-1. This one fouled back to the screen, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Garcia drove in his first Wild Things run in Game 2 of Sunday night's doubleheader. First RBI, a sac fly. They gave the Wild Things the early lead in that ball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men out here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Augie Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And that one's in the dirt, bouncing up to the plate. Garcia wisely lays off, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. With Augie Gallardo right now, so far we've seen him a guy who pounds the strike zone, uses that fastball effectively. When he gets to 2 strikes, he's been trying to get the Wild Things to chase with breaking balls. The 2-2, and that slider outside, and the count will go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. 2 men out in this top of the second. Kyle Pollock, the on-deck man, if Justin Garcia should reach base. Gallardo's 3-2 pitch. And Garcia hitting this one to right field. Jeff Dubuque giving chase. Now back to the track. And this ball will exit stage right. A solo home run for Justin Garcia. And the Wild Things take the lead here in the top of the second. It's 1-0 Wild Things. Garcia's first home run as a Washington Wild Thing, and when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo, Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law. 1-0 Wild Things lead here in the top of the second. Garcia's first home run as a Washington Wild Thing. That'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in the year is hitting .254 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. Pollock fouls his first pitch back, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. Didn't think that ball was going to have enough to get out of here at first, but it just does clear that right field wall. Garcia's first home run is a Wild Thing. Wild Things lead 1-0. Here's the 0-1 to Pollock, and that one up and in as Pollock turns out of the way of that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. First professional home run given up by Augie Gallardo. We'll see how he reacts after the solo home run by Garcia. Gallardo has his sign, the 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Kyle Pollock ahead of Augie Gallardo there. Pollock the primary catcher for the Wild Things. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this ball popped up by Pollock. Back over to foul territory off to the left. Vargas drifting over, and he will make the catch now in fair territory, and that's good for out number 3. But the Wild Things get a run in the inning on the solo home run by Justin Garcia. No errors and nobody left on. After 1.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums 0. Justin Garcia giving the Wild Things the lead on a solo home run, his first as a Washington Wild Thing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. They would go 1-2-3 against lefty Matt Snyder. Marcus Dirks grounded out on a nice diving play by Ricky Rodriguez for out number 1. Ryan Bacher would then fly out for the second out of the inning, and Jose Vargas would fly out to end the inning. Up here in the second, 4, 5, and 6, Will Kenger, Stephen Patterson, and Elijah Trail facing off against Matt Snyder. Snyder, a good start to this ballgame, now has a lead here in the bottom of the second. We'll see how he pitches with a lead. Last time, as we said, 5 1/3, gave up 1 run. And so far, he's had 1 good outing as a Wild Thing and 1 pretty bad outing. His first outing in relief against River City on August the 6th in an inning. Gave up 3 runs on a 3-run homer. Only 2 of those runs were earned. But his last time out, a 1 run in 5 1/3. So far, so good here through 1 inning of work in this one. Stepping in to face him here in the bottom of the second, the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far on the year for Traverse City, hitting .297, 7 home runs, and 41 RBIs. Those 7 home runs good for third on the team, behind Giancarlo Bergoni, and the tie for first by Jose Vargas and Stephen Patterson, each with 12. Here's the pitch, and Kenger takes that one for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Matt Snyder's been locating the ball very well early on, hitting his spots exactly. Has his sign, the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. That's really the first pitch that's missed his target at the plate as Pollock having to reach up to make that catch. Snyder looks in, has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. And this ball popped up. Shallow left center. Austin Wolbrock drifting out, and he'll make the catch. That's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the second for the Traverse City Beach Bums. And that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far on the year, hitting .305 with 12 home runs and 53 RBIs. 1 man out here in this top of the second inning. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Lefty on lefty matchup here between Matt Snyder and Stephen Patterson. Werfel Park, game 2 of this 3-game series. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Patterson, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. Matt Snyder able to blow a high fastball by Patterson on that swing, getting him to swing and miss. Snyder has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And this ball lined into right field, and that'll fall in for a base hit over the head of Jamadrick Magruder. First hit of the day for the Traverse City Beach Bums. They'll have a runner at first with 1 man out, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Elijah Trail. Trail so far on the year with Traverse City, hitting .246, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Trail was out at third base last night for Traverse City as Jose Vargas did the DH duties. Tonight, they have switched positions here for Game 2. So Stephen Patterson collects the first hit of the day for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Snyder looks in, has his sign, checks first, and the pitch. Swing and a miss there by Elijah Trail, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums designated hitter. Trail spent some time with the Normal Corn Belchers earlier in the year. Was released by Normal and then picked up by Traverse City. Snyder has his sign, checks first in the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. That hit by Stephen Patterson not hit very hard, as we haven't seen a hard hit ball off of Matt Snyder to this point, as all of his pitches have either been popped out or weak flyouts to the outfield. The 1-1, and this ball popped up back behind the seats, and the count will now go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. The second and final time the Wild Things will make the trip out here to Traverse City. One more meeting between these two teams, as there'll be a 3-game series at Consol Energy Park next Wednesday and Thursday. Doubleheader on Wednesday and a solo game on Thursday. The 1-2, and there's a swing and a miss, striking out to Elijah Trail, and that's out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Matt Snyder, and there are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far in the year, hitting .204, 9 home runs, and 23 RBIs. 2 men out, bottom of the second. 1-0 Wild Things lead here at Werfel Park. The runner at first, Stephen Patterson, he singled with 1 man out. Snyder has his sign, checks him over there, and the pitch on the way. And a check swing there by Bergoni, but he did not go around, says the home plate umpire Drew Ashcraft, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Giancarlo Bergoni, out there at first base for the second night in a row, batting right-handed against the lefty Matt Snyder. Snyder has his sign, the 1-0. And Bergoni takes this one just outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Traverse City Beach Bums first baseman. Last time we were here, Christian Santisteban did the first base duties, but these first 2 games we've seen Bergoni at the position. Snyder has his sign, the 2-0, and this ball popped foul by Bergoni back to the right and towards the kids zone here at Werfel Park, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Giancarlo Bergoni. The bullpens here at Werfel Park positioned in foul territory out of the field of play here. One of the rarities, bullpens out of play here in the Frontier League. Snyder has his sign, the 2-1, and this ball lined to right field. Dave Popkins going back, and he looks up, and this one's gone. A 2-run home run by Giancarlo Bergoni, and the Traverse City Beach Bums take the lead here in the bottom of the second. For Bergoni, it's his 10th home run of the year. Traverse City now taking a 2-1 lead. Dave Popkins watching that one all the way back to the track and ended up watching it go over the wall. Bergoni's second on the team now with 10 home runs behind Steven Patterson and Jose Vargas. Patterson and Vargas each have 12 on the year. That'll bring to the plate the catcher Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far on the season is hitting .235, 3 home runs, and 12 RBIs. That's the second home run given up by Matt Snyder in his Washington Wild Things career. Gave up a 3-run shot in his first outing. The pitch, and that one's low for a ball to Patrick, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Kendall Patrick behind the plate for last night's game as well, back out there for game 2. Snyder has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped up, foul off to the right, and that'll go behind the stadium. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 men out. 2-1 Traverse City leads now. On the 2-run homer by Giancarlo Bergoni. It was Bergoni's 10th home run of the season. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has what he wants. He's set in the 1-1. And Patrick takes this one just off the plate, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Just missing the outside corner there was Matt Snyder. Snyder still good in this ball game, just giving up the 1 mistake to this point. Has his sign. Here's the 2-1, and this one's inside for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count. Snyder really rolling along in this game until that 2-run homer by Bergoni. It retired 5 of the 6 men he faced. Has his sign. He's set in the 3-1. And this ball grounded softly to the left side. Charging is Ricky Rodriguez. Gloves, throws to first, and the throw a little wild pulls Jimmy Yezzo off the bag. We'll see if they give a hit here to Kendall Patrick as Rodriguez having to charge in on that ball and make the throw on the run. Still no rolling, and they're going to give Rodriguez an error. So it's E5 there on Ricky Rodriguez. Runner at first and 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the number 9 hitter, the right fielder, Jeff Debu. Debu so far on the year hitting .223, 1 home run, and 24 RBIs. 2 men out here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 Beach Bums lead. Matt Snyder looking in, going through the signs, has one. He's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And this ball fouled off by Debu over towards the Traverse City Beach Bums bullpen, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jeff Debu, the right fielder for Traverse City, was out there last night as well. Snyder has his sign, checks first in the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the right fielder for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 2 men out in this bottom of the second. 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Giancarlo Bergoni. Snyder has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And that one's up and in for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Matt Snyder trying to get out of this second inning with just those 2 runs allowed. Runner at first, Kendall Patrick, takes his lead. Snyder holds at the belt in the 2-1. And a check swing roller back to the mound. Snyder will handle it, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. However, Traverse City gets 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, Traverse City Beach Bums 2, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, All of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, Traverse City Beach Bums 2, Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things. They got their lone run here in this ball game. As it started off, Dave Popkins and Jimmy Yezzo each struck out for the first 2 outs of the inning before Justin Garcia came through with a solo home run. Garcia's first home run as a Wild Thing. That made the score 1-0 Wild Things. And Kyle Pollock would pop out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Jamadric Magruder, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck facing off against Augie Gallardo. Gallardo making his professional debut for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Last pitched earlier this season, his senior season with Eastern Michigan. Went 4-4 with Eastern Michigan, a 4.18 ERA in 75 1/3 innings of work. He had 35 earned runs in 75 1/3 innings. 83 hits, walked 26, and struck out 74. So far, so good here in this one through 2 innings. Just giving up that 1 run, the only hit on the Justin Garcia solo home run. His team has given him a 2-1 lead here in the top of the third. Stepping in to lead things off for the Wild Things here in this top of the third is their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far on the years hitting .200 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Nobody out top of the third. 2-1, the Beach Bums lead over your Washington Wild Things. Right-hander Augie Gallardo making his professional debut for the Beach Bums here tonight. Gallardo has his sign. He said, here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. Magruder hitting in the number 8 spot for the Wild Things, just as he did last night when he was first signed. He was up in that leadoff spot. The 0-1, that's line down the right field line and foul past the first base coaching box. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Jamadric Magruder. Left-handed batter facing off against the righty Augie Gallardo. As Gallardo waiting for that foul ball to be retrieved. He now steps back on the mound. Has his sign. He's set in the 0-2. And Magruder takes this one just off the outside part of the plate. Magruder wisely laying off, and the count 1-2. Gallardo tried to flip in the slow curveball, and Magruder not offering. The 1-2, and that one's a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Magruder strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the third. 4th strikeout of the day for Augie Gallardo, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far on the year hitting .220 with 1 home run and 14 RBIs. 1 man out here in this top of the third. Wobrock to the plate, batting in that number 9 spot, has really thrived in that position this season for your Washington Wild Things, getting that average up from below 200 and now up in the 220s late in the late going. Here's Gallardo's pitch, and Wobrock takes this for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things still first time through the lineup. Tough seeing a guy for the first time making his professional debut. They'll get a gauge on him this first time around and see what they can do the second time through. The 0-1, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 run in for the Wild Things on this home run by Justin Garcia in the top of the second. The 1-1, that one's high and outside for a ball, and the count now goes to 2-1 here on Wobrock. Wobrock batting from the left side against the righty Augie Gallardo. Wobrock in his second year with Washington. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And that one's low for a ball, so the count will now go 3 balls and 1 strike. Gallardo is yet to walk anybody here in his Frontier League debut. His professional debut altogether. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-1. And that one's low, ball 4. So Wobrock walks with 1 man out. That puts a runner at first for the Wild Things. And that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this game, 0 for 1. Flew out in his first at-bat. And in last night's game 1 of this 3-game series, Andrew Heck would end up going 2 for 4 with a double and RBI single. He also walked, grounded out, and struck out in the ball game. 1 man out top of the third. Wild Things have a runner at first as Wobrock walks. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Heck takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Second time through the Wild Things lineup here. See if they can get something going against Gallardo. Down 2-1 to the Beach Bums. Gallardo set, holds at the belt, checks the runner at first. Here's the 0-1. This one swung on and missed by Heck, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 1 man out here in this top of the third. Andrew Heck, the veteran on this team, has been in the leadoff spot for the last 3 weeks or so for the Wild Things. Has really been producing up there in that position. Gallardo has his sign, the 0-2, and that one turns Heck out of the way as it's inside, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Gallardo tried to get him to chase on the inside part of the plate, but didn't quite get it in there in far enough to get Heck to think about swinging. Here's the 1-2, and this one grounded softly off to the left towards the Beach Bums dugout, and that'll go foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, one man out top of the third. 2-1 Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things here from sunny Werfel Park. Beach Bums in their blue alternate jerseys with the yellow sleeves and the white lettering. The Washington Wild Things in their red alternates with the black stripe on the arm and their white lettering. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. One man out in this top of the third. 2-1 Traverse City leads. Home runs accounting for all 3 runs combined by these teams in the ball game. Gallardo looks in, has his sign, checks Wolbrock at first, and a throw over there. Austin Wolbrock gets back in. Wolbrock 6 stolen bases on the season in a 3-way tie for second with Jamadric Magruder and Andrew Heck, each of them having 6 behind Chris Grayson, who has 13. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 2-2, and that one's way inside for a ball. Heck turning out of the way, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Third full count of the day for Augie Gallardo. Last time he was in a full count was to Justin Garcia, and Garcia took him over the right field wall. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Gallardo set at the belt and the pitch. And this ball popped up by Andrew Heck. Back behind the plate, Kendall Patrick is camping under it, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 away for the Wild Things here in this top of the third, and that'll bring to the plate their center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1, flew out to right field his first time up. 2-1 Traverse City Beach Bums lead. 2 men out here in this top of the third. Austin Wolbrock, the runner at first. Wolbrock would walk with 1 man out in this inning. So Grayson stepping to the plate, batting in the number 2 hole out in center field, as he has been for most of his time as a Washington Wild Thing. Early in his career with the Wild Things, he batted number 3, and now up to the 2 spot as him and Rodriguez switch. Ground ball to the right side, and that's a base hit for Grayson. Wolbrock rounding second, heading to third. Here comes the Buse throw, and it's not in time as Wolbrock sneaking in there at third. It's a single for Chris Grayson, and now there's runners at first and third for your Washington Wild Things with 2 men out, and Ricky Rodriguez is coming to the plate. Rodriguez so far in this game 0 for 1, struck out his first time, and in last night's ball game would go 0 for 5, and ended up grounding out twice, lined out, and flew out twice in the ball game. 2 men out, runners at first and third for the Wild Things. They're down by 1. That tying run early in the ball game, standing at third. Rodriguez, 26 RBIs on the year. Those 26 RBIs good for third on the team behind Dave Popkins and Jimmy Yezzo. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Rodriguez pops this one up. Left field, Ryan Bacher coming in. He'll call off the shortstop, Will Kenger, and he makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on just 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on after the walk. After 2.5, the score. Traverse City Beach Bums 2, Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Beach Bums, they got both runs here in this ball game. Will Kenger popped out to lead things off, then Steven Patterson would single before Elijah Trails struck out, and then Giancarlo Bergoni came up and delivered a 2-run home run over the right field wall. It was his 10th home run of the year. That gave Traverse City a 2-1 lead. Kendall Patrick would then reach on an error, and Jeff W. would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Marcus Dirks, Ryan Bacher, and Jose Vargas, 1, 2, and 3, facing off against Matt Snyder. Snyder, in his last time out, was very good for the Washington Wild Things against the Lake Erie Crushers. Went 5 1/3 in his first start with the Wild Things. Gave up just 1 run. It was earned on 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 3 in that ball game. Took him a little bit to find the strike zone, but once he did, he was on fire in that ball game. So far, he's been pretty good at commanding the strike zone in this one. Just the one mistake pitch left up to Giancarlo Bergoni, and Bergoni made him pay. Marcus Dirks stepping in. Dirks 0 for 1 in this one, grounded out in his first at-bat. Here's the pitch. Dirks bunting and pops this one up. Kyle Pollock out from the crouch, but Rodriguez will call him off, and Rodriguez makes the catch. That's in time for out number 1. One pitch, one out here in the third inning, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far 0 for 1. In last night's game, Bacher would go 0 for 2, flew out, grounded out, and walked twice in the ball game. Ricky Rodriguez taking charge on that pop-up, running in from the third base position. Kyle Pollock had come out of the crouch to chase that ball, but Rodriguez had the better angle on it. He called him off and took charge, making the catch for out number 1. Bacher at the plate. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Bacher takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. That one pitch out, just what Matt Snyder needed after that second inning. Only threw 6 pitches in the first, but threw 22 to get through that second. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped up, foul, back behind the seats, and the count will go to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Bacher was out in left field for game 1 of this 3-game series, and Bacher has seen a lot of time out there against the Wild Things through the first 7 matchups between these two teams. Snyder has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Wild Things trying to come back here in this one, down 2-1. Their record against these Beach Bums this year, 4-3. Wild Things took 2 of 3 back in Consol, and Traverse City took 2 out of 3 last time the Wild Things were here. Next pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. 1 man out in this top of the third. Snyder retiring the first man he faced. Has his sign, the 3-1. And this ball hit to shallow right off into foul territory. Yezzo giving chase over by the wall, and it'll fall in between him and Magruder as Yezzo lost that one in the sun, and Magruder not enough speed to get there, so the count will now go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jimmy Yezzo was giving good chase on that ball, but the sun shining brightly here at Werfel Park over on that right side. Yezzo just lost the ball in the sun, which is easy to do here when you have that bright sun and the white ball. So he had no idea where it was, and Jamadric Magruder came over there, but he didn't see it either as it falls in between. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 3-2 offering. And this ball hit the center field. Chris Grayson coming in on it a little bit. He'll call off his defenders and makes the catch. That's good for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in this third inning. And that brings to the plate the third baseman, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 1. Flew out in his first at-bat, and in last night's game, Vargas would go 0 for 4, hit into a double play, struck out twice, and grounded out in the ball game. Was involved in a very nice defensive play last night as Alvaro Gonzalez, the third baseman, dived for the ball. It hit off his glove, went to the shortstop, and then Wobrock threw him out. The first pitch to him here, and that one's just below the knees for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on Jose Vargas. Vargas up there in that number 3 spot once again. Snyder has his sign, holds at the belt, and a 1-0. And this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the right. Yezzo and Magruder giving chase, but they'll watch this one land foul in the Wild Things bullpen, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Traverse City's third baseman. Jose Vargas held that third base position the last time the Wild Things were in town as well, then got injured for a little bit, so was spending time as a DH last night. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-1. And Vargas, a ground ball to the left side. Rodriguez backhands, fires across to first, and a nice pick there by Jimmy Yezzo, and that will end the inning. 5-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the third, and after 3 innings of play, the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fourth, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would send 5 men to the plate, would threaten but would not score. Jamidrick Magruder struck out to lead things off. Austin Wobrock would then walk. Andrew Heck popped out before Chris Grayson singled. That would put runners at first and third with 2 men out. And Ricky Rodriguez would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Justin Garcia, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Augie Gallardo. Gallardo so far so good here in his professional debut. Just that 1 run on that solo home run by Justin Garcia. Wild Things middle of the order will try to get to him here the second time around. Washington Wild Things return home this Friday, August 19th, 7:05 first pitch, as they start a 3-game series with the Schaumburg Boomers. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. As Dave Popkins getting ready to step in to lead things off here in this top of the fourth inning, as they had it's Coast Guard night here at Werfel Park, as they had the Coast Guard helicopter parked outside of the stadium. Right now, they are exiting that from the field of play. It's flying in a little low as it just took off, so we have to wait for that to clear the field, and then we'll resume baseball. That has now cleared the field, and that'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In last night's game, Dave Popkins would end up going 3 for 5, was your offensive star of the game, hit 2 homers in the ball game, also singled and flew out and popped out. Here's Gallardo's pitch, and this one fouled off by Popkins, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Nobody out, top of the fourth. 2-1 Traverse City Beach Bums lead. Got a chance to go out and tour that Coast Guard helicopter before the game. Pretty nice helicopter out there, and a lot of room inside. They're honoring the Coast Guard tonight here at Werfel Park. Augie Gallardo looks in, has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Popkins takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Gallardo so far pretty consistent in his number of pitches per inning. 17 in the first, 17 in the second, 18 in the third. This one fouled off by Dave Popkins off to the left, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Leads the team with 43 RBIs. Also leads the team with the 13 homers and the 296 average. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And Popkins takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Dave Popkins, 43 RBIs on the season. Gallardo has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. And this one low and in, and it'll get Dave Popkins on the foot. So Popkins hit by a pitch, and that'll put a runner on for the Wild Things with nobody out, and brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the day, 0 for 1, struck out in his first at-bat. Last night for Yezzo, he would go 1 for 5 with a single. Also flew out twice, popped out, and struck out in the ballgame. Last night was Yezzo's first start since coming back from the ankle injury that he suffered last Thursday against Lake Erie. He's wearing a protective guard around that ankle just so he doesn't foul a ball off that ankle and re-injure it. First pitch, and that one's called a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. Dave Popkins, the runner at first for the Wild Things. 5 steals on the year for the Wild Things right fielder. Here's the 0-1. Yezzo ground to the right side and past Steve Patterson in the right field for a base hit. Dave Popkins makes it to second. He'll hold there, so there are runners at first and second for the Wild Things now with nobody out in this top of the fourth inning, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 1 for 1, a solo home run in inning number 2. His first home run as a Washington Wild Thing. Nobody out, top of the fourth, 2-1. Traverse City Beach Bums lead over your Wild Things here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Had some rain earlier in the day, but right now beautiful blue skies over Werfel Park, as it's turned out to be a really nice night for baseball. Dave Popkins at second, Yezzo at first. Here's Gallardo's pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes on Justin Garcia. Last at bat, worked a full count, and then in his first home run as a Washington Wild Thing. Just got it over the right field wall. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead at that point, currently down 2-1. Gallardo has his sign, checks Popkins. Here's the 1-0. And Garcia fouling that one back to the screen. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter. Garcia, a product of the Houston Astros organization, signed with the Washington Wild Things right before the doubleheader last Tuesday against the Lake Erie Crushers back home at Consol Energy Park. Garcia in his 5th game as a Wild Thing, batting left-handed. Augie Gallardo looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, checks second, and the pitch. And Garcia takes this one for a strike just on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes. First two men reaching here in this inning for the Wild Things. Dave Popkins hit by a pitch in the foot, and Jimmy Yezzo able to single, following that a hit by pitch. Gallardo has his sign. He's set, checks second, the 1-2. And a swing and a miss there. Garcia strikes out, and that's out number 1. 5th strikeout of the day for Augie Gallardo, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 1, popped out in his first at-bat in inning number 2. 1 man out top of the 4th. Two runs on 2 hits for the Beach Bums. 1 run on 3 hits for your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things have runners at first and second, with just 1 man out in this ball game. Gallardo looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, checks Popkins at second, and the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Pollock, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 5 strikeouts through 3 1/3 innings of work for Augie Gallardo, so doing very well in that department so far with Eastern Michigan in his senior season. He had 74 strikeouts in 75 1/3 innings, so just under averaging a strikeout per inning in his college career. Augie Gallardo, the right-hander, facing off against the right-handed batter, Kyle Pollock. Pollock, the primary catcher for the Wild Things in his first year with the team. Gallardo has his sign, checks second in the 0-1. And Pollock, a check swing roller back to the mound. Gallardo handles it to second for 1, on to first, and that's in time for a double play, and that will end the inning. 1-6-3 on the putout, and the inning is over. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 3 1/2, the score, Traverse City 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 4th, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for Traverse City against Matt Snyder. They would go 1-2-3 as Marcus Dirks popped out, Ryan Bacher flew out, and Jose Vargas grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 4th, Will Kendra, Steven Patterson, and Elijah Trail, 4, 5, and 6 against Matt Snyder for the Wild Things. Snyder, besides that second inning, has been very good in this ballgame. Actually, besides 1 pitch, has been very good at this ballgame. Left 1 pitch down the middle to Giancarlo Bergoni, and Bergoni made him pay. Bergoni hitting a 2-run home run over the right field wall. It was his 10th homer of the year. That's given the Beach Bums this 2-1 lead. But other than that, he's only given up 1 other hit. That was the single before the home run. An error has allowed a third man to reach, and that's all that's reached against Matt Snyder. So far, 3 innings, has given up 2 runs, has struck out 1 in the ball game, and has yet to walk anybody here in this one. So looking to continue his success here in the 4th as the shortstop, Will Kendra, comes to the plate. Kendra so far in this one 0 for 1, popped out his first time up, and in Kendra in last night's game would go 2 for 4, doubled, singled, flew out, and struck out in the ball game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Beach Bums lead over your Washington Wild Things here in Werfel Park at Traverse City, Michigan. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the shortstop for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Batting in the number 4 spot. Don't see many clean-up shortstops in professional baseball, but Kendra able to do that with his 7 home runs on the year. The 0-1, and that one's fouled off to the left. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Will Kendra, shortstop for Traverse City. Matt Snyder in his second start for the Washington Wild Things has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And this one rolled softly to the right side. Jimmy Yezzo's going to grab it, but it'll be in foul territory. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Yezzo was charging on that one. Would have made the play if it was in fair territory, but he lets it roll foul, and Kendra will have to do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Pretty efficient inning for Matt Snyder last inning. Only needed 10 pitches to get through the Beach Bums in the 3rd. His really taxing inning was in the 2nd when he ended up throwing 22 pitches to the Beach Bums. Snyder looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Here's the 0-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Will Kendra. Snyder trying to get Kendra to chase that outside fastball. Kendra not going for it. Snyder has his sign, the 1-2 pitch. And this one fouled back, but off the chest protector of Kyle Pollock behind the plate. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pollock tried to get a glove on that one, but just couldn't as it fouled off of Kendra's bat and hit off his chest protector. Matt Snyder with his second team here in professional baseball. First year in professional baseball is this year. Pitched for the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks of the American Association earlier in the season. Went 1-3 with a 6.04 ERA with the Redhawks. Currently 1-0 with a 4.26 for the Wild Things. Has his sign, the 1-2. And a swing and a slow roller off to the left, but that'll go foul towards the third base coaching box. Manager Dan Roan will handle that one for Traverse City. Coaching on the bases for Traverse City, we haven't gotten to that one yet. At third base, manager Dan Roan, and at first base is the pitching coach, Jake Rhodes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's Matt Snyder's pitch. And this one grounded to the right side. Magruder will handle it, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in this 4th inning, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far 1 for 1, singled and would score on the Giancarlo Bergoni 2-run home run in inning number 2. Last night for Steven Patterson, went 1 for 4 with a double, also grounded out 3 times in the ball game. 1 man out, bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Beach Bums lead here over your Washington Wild Things, game 2 of this 3-game series. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Wild Things took game 1 of this series last night by a score of 5-4. Matt Frauden picked up his team leading 6th win. Snyder has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And that one's inside for a ball as well. So falling behind Steven Patterson here with 1 man out. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. This is a territory Snyder hasn't really been in here in this ball game. He's been working ahead and has been pounding the strike zone. Here's the 2-0, and that one swung on a miss by Patterson. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. We see Snyder on the mound today trying to change eye levels here of these batters. He's throwing a couple of low pitches, then he'll come at him with a high fastball, and that's been helping him here early on, getting a lot of swings and misses at the upper part of the zone. Snyder's 2-1. And this ball popped foul by Patterson. Rodriguez will give it a look, but he'll watch this one go back into the seats. And the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on the second baseman for the Traverse City Beach Bums, batting left-handed against the left-handed pitcher Matt Snyder. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's called strike 3. Thought they were going to call it a ball. Delayed strike call there by by home plate umpire Drew Ashcraft, but he rings up Steven Patterson. Second strikeout of the day for Matt Snyder, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 1. He struck out in this ball game. The other strikeout victim by Matt Snyder. Trail last night went 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts, a ground out, and a walk. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Trail. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 4th as Snyder's retired the first 2 men he's faced here in this inning. Besides that 2-run homer in the second, he's had 1, 2, 3 innings in 2 of the first 3, the first and the third. Snyder has his sign, the 0-1, and this one fouled back by Elijah Trail. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Had 3 strikeouts last time out in his last start. Good for his Frontier League game high. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And this ball hit towards left field. Going back on it is Andrew Heck towards the track, and this one will hit off the wall. Around first, heading to second is Trail. Here's Heck's throw, and it's cut off. It won't be in time. Elijah Trail in there with a 2-out double. The Beach Bums will have a runner at second with 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far 1 for 1, providing the only offense so far for Traverse City in the form of a 2-run home run back in the second. His 10th home run of the year. Bergoni in last night's ball game went 0 for 4, struck out 3 times on the night, and grounded out in the ball game. Runner at second, Elijah Trail after that 2-out double. Matt Snyder looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Bergoni takes this one just off the outside part of the plate for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to his starter, Matt Snyder. Snyder retired the first two men he faced in this inning, got Will Kendra to ground out, and Steven Patterson struck out for the first 2 outs in the ball game. But then Elijah Trail doubled with 2 outs. Trail standing on second base for the Beach Bums in scoring position with Bergoni at the plate. Kyle Pollock's meeting on the mound has concluded. Matt Snyder looking in, going through the signs, has one. He's set at the letters, and the 1-ball, no-strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Counter now go to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Traverse City's first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni, batting right-handed against the lefty Matt Snyder. Snyder looking in, going through the signs, has one. He's set at the letters, checks second, and the 2-0. And this ball fouled off by Bergoni, back to the right, and the count will go to 2-1. Bergoni getting a lot of that baseball, but very late on it, as he hooked it to the right into the kids' play area here at Werfel Park. 2 balls and a strike, 2 men out. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 2-1 offering. And a swing and a foul ball back by Bergoni, so the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Beach Bums. 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error for your Washington Wild Things. 2 men out, bottom of the 4th. Matt Snyder trying to get through this 4th inning of work. Runner at second, Elijah Trail. He doubled with 2 men out. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. Snyder strikes out Bergoni, and that ends the inning. 3rd strikeout of the night for Matt Snyder, and no runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4 innings of play, the score, Traverse City 2, Washington 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 5th, and the score, Traverse City 2 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would threaten but would not score. Dave Popkins was hit by a pitch to lead things off. Then Jimmy Yeza would single to put runners at first and second with nobody out before Justin Garcia struck out and Kyle Pollock hit into a double play to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th, Jamadrick Magruder, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Augie Gallardo. Next Washington Wild Things broadcast tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Taking the mound for your Washington Wild Things will be right-hander Luke Wilkins, and on the mound for Traverse City is right-hander Kramer Champlin. So tune in tomorrow night. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 5th, the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 1 in this game. Struck out looking in his first at-bat. One of 5 strikeout victims for Augie Gallardo here in his professional debut. Wild Things trying to get something started here in the 5th inning. Gallardo looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Augie Gallardo so far doing very well in this ball game. Just the one mistake pitch, the solo home run by Justin Garcia. Here's the 0-1 and a check swing, but Magruder not able to hold up there as the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Magruder starting his 4th straight game since coming back from that hamstring injury. It played bits and pieces after suffering the injury, but now 4 straight following that injury in Florence. Here's the 0-2. And this ball popped foul off to the left. Jose Vargas will give it a look, but this will go above the Beach Bums dugout foul, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Jamadrick Magruder. Nobody out top of the 5th. 2-1 Beach Bums lead here at Werfel Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 0-2 offering. And Magruder takes this one just inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Nobody out in this top of the 5th. 2-1 Traverse City leads. Gallardo has his sign, the 1-2. And this ball grounded foul into the Wild Things dugout, and the count remains 1-2 strikes. Magruder hitting that one hard. The dugouts here at Werfel Park, just like they were in Standard Bank Stadium out in Windy City, no railing in front of the dugout, so you have to be alert in there. The 1-2, and that one's high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Battle brewing here to start this top of the 5th between Augie Gallardo and Jamadric Magruder. 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And Magruder, a ground ball to the right side. Steven Patterson will handle it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the 5th inning, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Woldrock. Woldrock so far, no official at-bat. Walked his first time. In last night's game, Woldrock would end up going 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd, grounded out twice, and walked in the ball game. 1 man out here in this top of the 5th. 2-1 Traverse City leads, as Woldrock will try to reach base for the second time here tonight. Reached base twice last night. Gallardo has his sign, the pitch, and Woldrock takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. Gallardo has his sign in the 0-1. And that one's in there for a strike as well. Count now no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Austin Woldrock, batting in the number 9 spot. Righty Gallardo looks in, has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And this one swung on and fouled away by Woldrock past the third base coaching box and manager Greg Langben. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Austin Woldrock. Lefty on righty matchup. Augie Gallardo, the right-handed pitcher, facing off against Austin Woldrock, the left-handed batter. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out in this top of the 5th inning. Gallardo looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss there. Woldrock strikes out, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the 5th, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this one, 0 for 2, grounded out in the 1st and popped out in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the top of the 5th, 2-1. Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Heck in the leadoff spot for the Wild Things, as he has been for the last 3 weeks, performing very well in that position as a hit in each of his last 5 games. Here's the pitch, and Heck takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder, trying to get on with 2 outs in the 5th. Gallardo's 1-0, and Heck takes this one outside for a ball. The count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. Heck has been taking over that left field position. Here's the 2-0, and Heck takes this one high as well, so the count swells to 3 balls and no strikes now on the Wild Things left fielder. 2 outs top of the 5th. Gallardo falling behind Heck here. Here's the 3-0. And that one in there for a called strike, just hitting that inside corner. Count now to 3 balls and a strike. Andrew Heck in his 4th year with the Washington Wild Things. Started his Wild Things career back in 2012, the 3-1. And that one's a called strike at the knees, and the count now goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, Chris Grayson, the on-deck man for the Wild Things, if Andrew Heck should reach here in this top of the 5th. Gallardo has his sign. He's set in the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a foul ball back to the screen by Heck. Count remains 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Battle brewing here between Gallardo and Heck. Jamadric Magruder battled him to start this inning. 7-pitch at-bat for him. And now the 7th pitch of this at-bat coming to Andrew Heck. Gallardo has his sign. He's set in the 3-2. And that one's inside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk here puts a runner at base. On base for the Wild Things with 2 outs, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the day, 1 for 2, flew out in the 1st, and singled in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the top of the 5th, 2-1. Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck, the runner at first. Heck on the year, 6 stolen bases, is part of that 3-way tie for second on the team, tied with Jamadric Magruder and Austin Woldrock. Each of them have 6. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Grayson, a big swing and a miss there. And the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Gallardo got him on that high fastball. Swing and a miss there as Grayson will step in and try again. Heck takes his lead from first. Gallardo holds at the belt. And the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Chris Grayson, batting from the left side against the righty Augie Gallardo. Gallardo looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Grayson on another high fastball, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Augie Gallardo so far very good here in his professional debut. 4 2/3, just giving up that 1 run on the solo homer by Justin Garcia. Gallardo looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And that one's high for a ball. Grayson Wisely laying off that one as that one was over his head, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out. Andrew Heck reaching on the 2-out walk. He's over at first. This inning started with a Magruder ground out, and Wolbrock struck out for the 2nd out. Here's the 2-2. This one inside. The throw down to second, and Andrew Heck is in there with the stolen base. Heck's 7th stolen base of the year, and now he sits alone in second place, and actually Chris Grayson struck out to end the inning, so not a stolen base for Andrew Heck as he is stranded at first. No runs in the inning for your Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4.5, the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 2, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, Traverse City 2, and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Will Kendra would ground out to lead things off, then Steven Patterson struck out, Elijah Trail would double, and Giancarlo Bergoni struck out to end the inning. Going to the bottom of the 5th, due up, Kendall Patrick, Jeff Debue, and Marcus Dirks, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Matt Snyder, and Snyder so far through 4 innings. Just that one mistake pitch on that 2-run homer by Giancarlo Bergoni. Other than that, has been pretty good. 2 efficient innings, 1 in the first, 1 in the third, when he retired the team 1-2-3. 6 pitches in the first, 10 in the third, and the second inning through 22, and last inning through 20 pitches against the Beach Bums. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th, the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far in the day, 0 for 1, reached on an error his first time up, and Patrick in last night's game would go 1 for 2, singled, struck out, and walked twice in the ball game. Matt Snyder, left-hander on the mound, facing off against the right-handed batter, Kendall Patrick. Patrick is 2nd game behind the plate for the Beach Bums here in this series. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Patrick. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 3 strikeouts on the day for Matt Snyder, and he has not walked anybody here in this contest. Snyder looking into his catcher, Pollock, has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Patrick. He chased one outside and low, and the count now no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Good slider there by Matt Snyder, the left-hander on the mound. Has been very good with his location here in this outing. Just that one mistake pitch to Bergoni. He's been throwing it right where he's wanted to all night long. Snyder has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And that one's just off the outside part of the plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tried to get the chase there from the number 8 hitter, Kendall Patrick. Could not. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. 2-1 Beach Bums lead. Snyder has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. He gets Kendall Patrick swinging, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. 4th strikeout of the day for Matt Snyder. That brings to the plate the right fielder, Jeff Debue. Debue so far 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat. In last night's game, Debue would go 1 for 4, hit an RBI double, also hit into a fielder's choice, struck out and popped out in the ball game. 1 man out, bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Beach Bums lead. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's at the letters for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums right fielder. Lefty-lefty matchup. Snyder has his sign in the 0-1. And this ball hit towards left field. Andrew Heck coming in a couple of steps. He'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in this 5th inning. And that brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far in the day, 0 for 2. Was robbed of a base hit in the first inning. A very nice diving stop by Ricky Rodriguez, and he popped out in inning number 3. 2 men out in this bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Beach Bums lead here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things winning last night by the score of 5-4. Here's the pitch. And this one taken outside for a ball by Dirks. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the left-handed hitting center fielder, Dirks. Last time the Wild Things saw the Beach Bums, Dirks was just starting his Beach Bums career. Now well into it here, about a month and a half or so with the team. Next pitch, and that one's outside as well. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the 2-0. This one swung on and fouled back by Dirks. Count goes now to 2 balls and a strike. Dirks just getting a piece of that pitch on the inside part of the plate. Matt Snyder has been working the corners very well and has been working high to low very well. Really incorporates his different locations and has these Beach Bums hitters off balance. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the 2-1. And Dirks takes this one well outside. Gets past the catcher Kyle Pollock to the backstop, and the count now 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. Matt Snyder looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. Got one in the first and in the third. Looking for his third 1-2-3 inning of the night. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the 3-1 offering. And that one just outside, ball 4. First walk of the day for Matt Snyder. A runner reaches for the Beach Bums with 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far in this game 0 for 2. Flew out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Beach Bums lead. Marcus Dirks walks. He is over at first base now with 2 men out for the Beach Bums. For Marcus Dirks over there, double digits in steals on the season, has 11 in 44 games. The pitch, and Bacher takes this one just off the outside part of the plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Beach Bums left fielder. 2 outs in this bottom of the 5th. Number 2 hitter in the order is Ryan Bacher. That's where he batted last night as well. Snyder has his sign, the 1-0. Dirks taking off for second. Pitch high, the throw down, and it's not in time as Dirks just gets in ahead of the tag of Jamadric Magruder. Dirks' 12th stolen base of the year, and now there's a runner at second with 2 outs. A very close play there at second base. Jamadric Magruder thought he had him as the throw beat Dirks in, but apparently the tag just a little bit slow by Magruder. Field umpire Phil Pupillo saying that he just got his hand in there. 2 balls, no strikes the count here on Bacher. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-0. And that one's on the inside corner for a strike. Count now going to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Ryan Bacher. Got batting right-handed against the lefty Matt Snyder. No action in either bullpen as of yet. Some guys stretching out there in the Wild Things pen, and just a little bit of movement in Traverse City. Snyder has his sign, checks second, the 2-1. And a swing and a miss there by Bacher. Chased a pitch out of the zone, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on the left fielder for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 2 men out in this bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Wild Things lead over Traverse City. 2 men out. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 2-2. And this ball lined to the right side, past the glove of Yezzo into right field, a base hit. Dirks will be waved around. Here comes the throw by Popkins. It's cut off, and that'll be an RBI single for Ryan Bacher. Traverse City adds on here in the bottom of the 5th. They now lead 3-1 over your Washington Wild Things. Dirks scores from second. 3-1 Traverse City leads for Ryan Bacher. That is RBI number 26 on the year for the Beach Bums left fielder. 3-1 Traverse City now here in the bottom of the 5th, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 2 in this ball game. Snyder has his sign, checks third, the pitch, and this one ground to the left side and past the diving Rodriguez, fair ball. Bacher around second, heading to third. He's going to be waved to the plate. Here comes the throw from Andrew Heck, and it is not in time. Bacher in there at home, thrown to third by Pollock, and they get Vargas there, but it's an RBI double for Jose Vargas, and Traverse City adds to their lead. It's now 4-1. After 5 innings of play. In the inning for Traverse City, they would get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 5 innings of play, the score, Traverse City now 4, and your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score, Traverse City 4 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, Jamadrick Magruder would ground out to lead things off. Austin Waldrock would strike out. Andrew Heck would then walk with 2 men out before Chris Grayson struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Yezzo, 3, 4, and 5, facing off against Augie Gallardo. Beach Bums lead over your Wild Things 4-1. So far, Gallardo has been very good in this ball game. Through 5 innings of work, has given up just 1 run on 3 hits in the ball game. He has struck out 5 and has walked 2 to this point. So far, a very good professional debut for Augie Gallardo. Stepping to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 6th for the Wild Things is their third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in this one, 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Nobody out, top of the 6th, 4-1, Traverse City leads. Gallardo has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez checks his swing but takes a strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on Ricky Rodriguez. Played for the Amarillo Thunderheads a year ago. The 0-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. In his first year with the Washington Wild Things, has led the team in average for about the last month and a half. Currently coming into today, dipped down to second behind Popkins, just 1 point behind him as he fouls this pitch off to the right, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Has been doing very well offensively for the Wild Things, and it's been helping this team get to their 38-39 record. Here's Gallardo's 1-2, and this ball hit towards right center field. Marcus Dirks and Jeff Debut converging. Dirks will call off Debut, and he makes the catch. That's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for your Wild Things here in the top of the 6th, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1, struck out in the second and was hit by a pitch in inning number 4. 1 man out here in this top of the 6th inning. 4-1 Beach Bums lead over your Washington Wild Things. There is action in the Traverse City bullpen as now a right-hander starts to warm up. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Popkins takes this one for a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Even though Gallardo is pitching pretty well here in this game so far, you do have to worry about his pitch count as it's his first start of the year. The 0-1, and that one's high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. You don't want to overuse Gallardo in his first outing. Has his sign, the 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and a strike here on Dave Popkins. 2-1 the count. Number 4 hitter in the Washington Wild Things order. Got Augie Gallardo on the mound right now. Coming into this inning, Gallardo had thrown 88 pitches. Here's the 2-1, and this one popped up by Popkins. Foul territory to the left. Kendall Patrick giving chase towards the Beach Bums dugout, and neither of them will make the catch as it falls in foul territory, and the count goes to 2-2. Have to be cautious when you're over there in foul territory. Jose Vargas giving chase. He had to maneuver the steps in the dugout as he went into the Traverse City Beach Bums dugout. It's okay as he comes back out, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, as we said, 88 pitches for Gallardo coming into this inning. Threw 4 to the first man, Ricky Rodriguez, so that puts him up at 92. And the 5th pitch coming here, Dave Popkins. Has his sign. Here's the 2-2, and that one's just off the plate outside for a ball, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count, 98th pitch of the day for Augie Gallardo. Has his sign. He's set, and the 3-ball, 2-strike offering. And Popkins hits this one to right field. Jeff Debut not moving very much, and he'll make the catch. That's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in this 6th inning. And that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 1 for 2. Struck out looking in the second and singled in inning number 4. 2 men out here in the top of the 6th. 4-1. Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Augie Gallardo in his professional debut, 5 2/3, has struck out 5 and walked 2 so far. Here's the pitch, and Yezzo takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things first baseman. Lefty on righty matchup. Left-handed batter Yezzo. Right-handed pitcher Gallardo. The 0-1, and that one swung on a miss. The count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Jimmy Yezzo, as Gallardo officially over 100 pitches. That last pitch was his 100th. Gallardo has his sign. Here's the 0-2. and a swing and a miss. He strikes out Yezo, and that ends the inning. 6 strikeouts on the day for Augie Gallardo. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 6th. And after 5.5 the score, Traverse City Beach Bums 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, Traverse City 4 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Kendall Patrick would strike out to lead things off. Then Jeff Dubuque flew out. Marcus Dirks walked with 2 men out, then stole second, and Ryan Bacher came through with an RBI single. Dirks came around to score, and that extended the Beach Bums' lead to 3-1. Next batter was Jose Vargas, and he delivered an RBI double. Bacher came in to score. However, Vargas was thrown out trying to stretch that double into a triple for the last out here in the inning. Due up in the 6th, Will Kenger, Stephen Patterson, and Elijah Trail, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Wild Things starter Matt Snyder. Snyder a little roughed up last inning, looking to rebound here in this bottom of the 6th inning. Due up to lead things off, Will Kenger, the shortstop. Kenger so far 0 for 2. Popped out in the 2nd, grounded out in inning number 4. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th, 4-1. Traverse City leads over your Wild Things. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Kenger lining this one to right field. Dave Popkins going over a couple of steps, and it'll fall in front of him for a base hit. So it's a leadoff single for Will Kenger. Runner at first, nobody out for Traverse City. And that brings to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far in the day, 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 2nd, and struck out in inning number 4. For Matt Snyder so far on the mound, has gone 5+ innings, giving up 4 runs. All those runs earned on 5 hits, striking out 4 in the ball game, and walking 1 to this point. He's thrown 76 pitches. Here's the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Stephen Patterson. Leadoff single for Will Kenger, taking the first pitch he sees into right field. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. This one grounded to the left side, past the diving Rodriguez into left field for a base hit. Back-to-back leadoff singles here for the Beach Bums. Have runners at first and second now with nobody out. And that brings to the plate the designated hitter Elijah Trail. With that, there will be action in the Wild Things bullpen as Christian Powell is up and throwing for the Wild Things. Stepping to the plate right now, DH Elijah Trail. Trail so far 1 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd and doubled in inning number 4. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Beach Bums lead over the Wild Things. They have runners at first and second with nobody out. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Snyder has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And this one swung on and missed by Elijah Trail, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. Snyder pounding a ball in the outside corner, getting it by Trail, and getting ahead 0-1. Runners at first and second, Will Kenger and Stephen Patterson each with 2-out singles. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the no-ball, 1-strike offering. That one's outside for a ball, and the count evens up now at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Elijah Trail. Trail out at third base in last night's ball game, assumes the DH role here in game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things won game 1 by a score of 5-4. Currently Trail 4-1 here in this one. Here's Snyder's 1-1, and this one swung on and missed as well. High fastball there, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, nobody out. There's action in both bullpens as the Beach Bums had a right-hander up and Christian Powell up in the Wild Things pen. Matt Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Check second, here it comes. And this one grounded to the left side, foul back to the Beach Bums dugout, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Snyder's pitch count not high in this one, but he has given up 4 runs through 6 innings of work and allowed the 2 leadoff singles, hence the action in the Wild Things bullpen. Snyder looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Shakes off the first one, now has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. Checks second, here it comes. And a swing and a miss. He gets Elijah Trail swinging, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 man out for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Still those runners at first and second. That brings to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far 1 for 2. A 2-run homer in inning number 2 for him, and struck out in the 4th inning. And manager Greg Langbank coming to the mound, and we're going to have a pitching change here on the MSA Sports Network. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Current score, bottom of the 6th, Traverse City 4, your Washington Wild Things 1.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently in the bottom of the 6th, Traverse City leads 4-1 over your Wild Things. New pitcher on for Washington is righty Christian Powell will take over. Powell so far in the year, no record, no ERA. Appearing in his second game through 2 innings of work his first time out. Did not give up a run on no hits, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 3 in the contest in his Wild Things debut. So second appearance for the Wild Things out of the bullpen. Matt Snyder, book not closed on him yet, but he's so far 5 1/3, 4 runs all earned on 6 hits, walked 1 in the ballgame, and struck out 5 against the Traverse City Beach Bums here today. So Christian Powell on for his second appearance. Runners are at first and second for the Beach Bums with 1 man out, and Giancarlo Bergoni coming to the plate. First man to face Christian Powell here. Bergoni so far 1 for 2, a 2-run home run in inning number 2, and struck out in inning number 4. 1 man out, Christian Powell, the righty on from the bullpen in his second appearance with the Wild Things. Christian Powell looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Bergoni takes this one low and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes for Christian Powell. Last time he was on the mound, he was hitting the strike zone pretty consistently. Got his fastball up there in the mid-90s for most of the day. Powell looking in, going through the signs with Kyle Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 1-0. And Powell popped this one up, does Bergoni, and that one will go back behind the plate. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Christian Powell standing in there at 6'4", 225 from Greenwood, South Carolina. Pitched in the Houston Astros organization in rookie ball earlier this year. Powell has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at second. And the 1-1. And now they'll get Christian Powell for a balk here, as that'll move up runners to second and third. Didn't really see any motion there from Christian Powell, but a balk called by the field umpire Phil Pupillo, and that moves runners up to now second and third with just 1 man out. So a balk called here on Christian Powell, as now we'll have to deal with runners second and third. Infield comes in for the Wild Things, the 1-1. And this one taken for a strike at the letters. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Giancarlo Bergoni. Got the offense started for Traverse City as he hit the big 2-run home run back in inning number 2. Powell has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And this one swung on and missed. Striking out is Giancarlo Bergoni. Pollock will have to throw down to first, complete the strikeout. He does. Strikeout 2-3 put out, and there are now 2 men out here in the bottom of the 6th. First strikeout for Christian Powell, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the 2nd and struck out in inning number 5. 2 men out here in this bottom of the 6th. Christian Powell's 4th strikeout of the year for the Wild Things in 2 1/3 innings of work, so doing very well in that department in his early career with Washington. Now facing Kendall Patrick, the catcher for Traverse City. Powell looking in to Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this ball line foul off to the right, so the count will go to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kendall Patrick, with 2 men out in this bottom of the 6th. Christian Powell on the mound for the Washington Wild Things out of the bullpen. Looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And this one's in the dirt, blocked by Pollock, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Christian Powell was an 8th-round pick by the Minnesota Twins in 2012 in the Major League Baseball amateur draft. Earlier this year for the rookie ball with the Astros, he was no record, a .540 ERA in 2 games, made 1 start for the Greenville Astros. Powell has his sign, the 1-1, and this ball lined into center field, and that's a base hit. Kendrick comes around to score. Steven Patterson will score as well as Kendall Patrick gets in there to second. It's a 2 RBI double, and now Traverse City leads this one by the score of 6-1. Kendall Patrick's first base hit of the day as he gets in that second with a 2 RBI double. Both Kendrick and Patterson score. Both those runs are charged to Matt Snyder as his book is officially closed. Went 5 1/3, gave up 6 runs in the ballgame on 6 hits, walking 1 and striking out 5. Jeff Dubuque coming to the plate, the number 9 hitter in the order for Traverse City. Powell's pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jeff Dubuque. A 2 RBI double for Kendall Patrick. For Patrick on the year, those are RBIs number 13 and 14. Powell has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball hit towards shallow center. Chris Grayson coming in on it. He'll camp under it, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. However, the Beach Bums get 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 6 innings of play, the score, Traverse City 6, and your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 6 and your Washington Wild Things 1. New pitcher on for the Traverse City Beach Bums, as it'll be right-hander Rob Blanc in relieving Augie Gallardo. Blanc so far on the year for the Beach Bums has a record of 1-1 with a 3.45 ERA, appearing in his 18th game. He has made 6 starts on the year, has gone 41 2/3 innings of work, giving up 16 runs, all of them earned on 33 hits, 25 walks, and 33 strikeouts on the year for Rob Blanc. The final line on the starter, Augie Gallardo, a very good professional debut for Gallardo. Went 6 in this ball game, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 3 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7 Wild Things in the game. Due up for the Wild Things, here in inning number 7. Justin Garcia, Kyle Pollock, and Jamadrick Magruder, 6, 7, and 8, facing off against the new pitcher, Rob Blanc. Garcia stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 7th. Garcia so far in the day, 1 for 2, hit a solo home run in the second. His first homer is a wild thing, and struck out in inning number 4. Beach Bums lead by 5 here at Werfel Park in the top of the 7th. Blanc looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one fouled back by Justin Garcia. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter, playing in his 5th game as a Washington Wild Thing. Garcia spent time earlier in this year in the Houston Astros organization, batted .174 with a homer and 3 RBIs for the Greenville Astros. Blanc has his sign, the 0-1, and this one swung on and missed by Garcia, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count as Blanc gets ahead of Garcia right out of the bullpen. Righty on lefty matchup. Garcia, left-handed batter, facing off against the righty Rob Blanc. There is action in the Beach Bums bullpen as a lefty starts to warm up. Garcia will foul this one back to the screen, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Justin Garcia. DH for the Wild Things here in this ball game, as Augie Gallardo, a very impressive professional debut for Traverse City. Blanc has his sign, and the 0-2 pitch. This one's high for a ball. Garcia lays off, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Augie Gallardo going 6 innings, giving up 1 run in this ball game. Took him 101 pitches to get through 6 innings of work on the night. Rob Blanc into relieving. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, top of the 7th. Blanc has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. This ball fouled back by Garcia, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garcia battling Blanc out of the bullpen for the Traverse City Beach Bums. For Rob Blanc, stands in there at 6 foot 210 from Sandy Hook, Connecticut. He is in his 2nd season with the Traverse City Beach Bums. Pitched for them a little bit in the 2015 season, as well as pitching for the Lake Erie Crushers and the Normal Corn Belters. The 1-2, and this one hit to center field and deep. Dirks going back to the track, and he'll make the catch at the base of the wall, and that's in time for out number 1. Garcia giving that one a ride, but just didn't get enough of it for it to get out of this ballpark. 400 out there to center field as it just died on the track. That'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 2. Popped out in the 2nd and hit into a 1-6-3 double play in inning number 4. 1 man away here in this top of the 7th as Garcia flies out. Rob Blanc looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Pollock takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. As we said, Rob Blanc pitched for 3 teams last season, Normal Corn Belters, Traverse City, and the Lake Erie Crushers. Has his sign, the 1-0, and Pollock takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. In 3 games with the Beach Bums, all starts, went 1-1 with a 5.78 ERA last year. With Normal pitched in 4 games, all starts there, 1-0 at 5.40. And then with Lake Erie in 12 games, 8 starts, 0-4, 3.85. This pitch, and that was a called strike on Pollock on the outside corner, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the Wild Things catcher with 1 man out in this top of the 7th inning. Blanc's 2-1, and this one's inside for a ball, so the count will now go to 3 balls and a strike here on the Wild Things catcher. 3-1, 1 man out. Pollock bats from the right side against the righty Rob Blanc. Looks like Joe Anthony Rivera warming up out there for Traverse City. Saw Rivera last night. Blanc has his sign. Here's the 3-1. And that one's outside, ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk, and that'll give the Wild Things a base runner here in the top of the 7th. That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far in this one, 0 for 2. Struck out looking in inning number 3 and grounded out in inning number 5. 1 man out, top of the 7th. Kendall Patrick will go out to talk to his reliever, Rob Blanc, and make sure everything's okay. 1 man out. Full slate of action around the Frontier League here on this Wednesday night of Frontier League baseball. Couple of finals already in this one as Schaumburg defeated Joliet earlier today 2-1. River City defeated Evansville 5-4 as well in game 1 of their doubleheader. Here's the pitch. Magruder grounded to the right side. Steven Patterson gloves to second for 1, and there'll be no play at first, so it's a fielder's choice by Jamadrick Magruder. 4-6 on the putout, And now there are 2 outs and still a runner at first for the Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the day 0 for 1, walked in the 3rd inning and struck out in inning number 5. Now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Another final. Southern Illinois defeated Gateway in 8-2 in their game, and Florence defeated the Normal Corn Belters 13-3. Rob Blanc looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Wobrock takes this one for a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. 6-1, the Traverse City Beach Bums lead over your Wild Things here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Blanc has his sign, checks third, and the 0-1. Wobrock takes this one low for a ball, and the count now evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to the Wild Things shortstop here in the top of the 7th. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Beach Bums. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for the Wild Things. Magruder takes his lead from first. Blanc has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. This ball fouled off back to the screen, and the count will now go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Austin Wobrock. 2 men out, top of the 7th. 6-1 Beach Bums lead. Magruder has 6 steals over there at first base, part of that 3-way tie for second on this Wild Things team. Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball grounded to short. Will Kendra will handle it, steps on the bag, and that's in time for out number 3. Fielder's choice, 6 unassisted, and that ends the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on after the walk. After 6.5 the score, Traverse City 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 6 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Last inning for the Beach Bums, they would add 2 more runs in the inning as Will Kendra and Steven Patterson back-to-back leadoff singles put runners at first and second with nobody out. Then Elijah Trail would strike out for the first out of the inning, and that would be all for the starter Matt Snyder. Christian Powell came in to relieve. Powell struck out Giancarlo Bergoni to start his outing, and then Kendall Patrick came through with a 2 RBI double. Kendra and Patterson would score, and that gave the Beach Bums this 6-1 lead. Jeff Debut would then fly out to end the inning. Final line for the starter Matt Snyder in this one. He went 5 1/3, gave up 6 runs. All those runs earned on 6 hits, walked 1, and struck out 5. Took him 83 pitches to get through 5 1/3 innings. Leading off the inning here against Christian Powell will be the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far in the game 0 for 2, grounded out, popped out, and walked in this game. The pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums center fielder. The 4th time through the order for the Beach Bums as Powell has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Christian Powell had an injury that knocked him out of the rookie league for the Astros this year. He played in the minor leagues for 5 years between the Twins and the Astros as this pitch fouled off to the left, and it'll get back over the Beach Bums dugout, or bullpen, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. In minor league baseball, had a combined record between the 5 years of 10-10, a 5.36 ERA in 53 games, 23 of those starts through 166 1/3 innings, striking out 148 and walking 76. This pitch ground to the right side, and that's a base hit for Marcus Dirks. Leadoff single here in the bottom of the 7th, and there's a runner at first with nobody out for Traverse City, and that brings to the plate the left fielder Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far 1 for 3, flew out in the first, flew out in the third, and hit an RBI single and scored a run in inning number 5. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, 6-1 Beach Bums lead over your Washington Wild Things. Ryan Bacher, the switch hitter, batting from the right side now against the left side, against the right-handed pitcher Christian Powell. Powell looking into his catcher Kyle Pollock, checks the man at first, has his sign, he's set, and the offering on the way. And that one's just low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on Ryan Bacher, the number 2 hitter in the order for Traverse City, out there in left field for the second straight night for the Beach Bums. Bacher looks in, going through the signs. Powell looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set in the 1-0. And Bacher takes this one inside for a ball. Count now swelling to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count for Christian Powell through 2 perfect innings in his last outing, part of his Wild Things debut. Powell looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks first, and the 2-0. And this one's low for a ball, so Powell falling behind now, 3 balls and no strikes. There is action in the Wild Things bullpen. Brian O'Keefe forming out there for Washington. 3 balls, no strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. Marcus Dirks singled to lead off this inning. He's at first. Powell has his sign, he's set in the 3-0. And this one's a called strike hitting the knees this time, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Ryan Bacher. Nobody out. Bacher out there in left field for Traverse City. Bacher standing in there at 6'1", 215 from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Powell has his sign. He's set, and the 3-1. And this one grounded to second. Magruder handles it to second for 1, and the throw to first is going to be just late. Marcus Dirks, a hard slide in there at second base, breaking up that double play. Fielder's choice 4-6 on the putout as Dirks is retired at second. There's 1 man out and a runner at first, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 1 for 3, flew out in the first, grounded out in the third, and hit an RBI double in inning number 5. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th, 6-1. The Wild Things trail the Traverse City Beach Bums. Ryan Bacher takes his lead at first. Powell checks him over there. Set, holds at the belt, and the pitch on the way. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jose Vargas out there at third for Traverse City today. Powell looking into Pollock, going through the signs. Checks first, has one he likes. He's set, and the 0-1. And Vargas takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bum third baseman, batting from the right side against the right-handed pitcher Christian Powell. Ryan Bacher over there at first. He reached on a fielder's choice with 1 man out. Powell has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. And this ball popped up foul off to the right. Dave Popkins will give it a look, but it'll land in the seats off to the right side, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Christian Powell, the second pitcher used for the Wild Things here in this ball game. There was action in the Traverse City Beach Bums bullpen. Right now it's quiet, however, as Joe Anthony Rivera was warming up. He sat down. Christian Powell looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Powell has one he likes. He's set, and the 1-2. And this one grounded to the left side past manager Dan Roan over there in the third base coaching box, as Dan Roan had to jump out of the way of that one. Keeps you honest as a third base coach. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. It's Christian Powell trying to retire Jose Vargas for the second out in this inning. Powell looks in, checks the runner at first, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And this ball grounded to third. Rodriguez has it to second for 1, and there'll be no play at first. Fielder's choice 5-4 on the putout. And now Ryan Bacher throwing out at second. Jose Vargas replaces him at first. So there's still a runner at first with 2 men out. That brings to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far in this one is 1 for 3. Popped out in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and singled in inning number 6. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 7th. 6-1 Traverse City leads. 6 runs on 8 hits for the Beach Bums. 1 run on 3 hits and an error for the Wild Things. So Jose Vargas takes his lead at first. Powell has his sign, the pitch, and this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City shortstop. Brian O'Keefe continues to warm up in the Wild Things pen. Powell looking in to his catcher Kyle Pollock. Checks the runner at first, has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. This ball hit towards left field. Andrew Heck going back on it a couple of steps. He'll camp under it, and he makes the catch, and that's good for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 7 innings of play, the score, the Traverse City Beach Bums 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th, and the score, Traverse City 6 and your Washington Wild Things 1. Rob Blanc back out there for his second inning of relief for Traverse City. Last inning against him, Justin Garcia would fly out to start things, then Kyle Pollock walked. Jamadrick Magruder would hit into a fielder's choice, and Austin Walbrock would ground into a fielder's choice that would end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, 1-2-3, Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Ricky Rodriguez facing off against Rob Blanc. Blanc, his last time out for Traverse City was on August the 10th against Windy City. Went an inning in that game, gave up 2 hits, and struck out 1 in the ball game. His last time he gave up a run was on July 29th against the Evansville Otters, where he went an inning, gave up 1 run in that inning on just 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out 1. Wild Things will try to score against him here in the top of the 8th, as stepping in to lead things off is the left fielder Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this one 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first, popped out in the third, and walked in inning number 5. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th, as Heck coming to the plate. 4th time around through the order for your Wild Things, as they'll try to score here against Rob Blanc. Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Heck popping this one up in foul territory. Patrick giving chase, and it'll hit off the top of the Wild Things dugout, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Andrew Heck, with nobody out in this top of the 8th inning. Heck, the leadoff man, started his Wild Things career in 2012. Rob Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. Heck showing bunt, pulls back, but fouls this one off the bat as he didn't get the bat out of the way in time, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. That ball actually getting a piece of Andrew Heck's hand as well, as he was trying to bunt, and tried to move the bat, cut the bat and the hand, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Heck grabbing that right hand right now, standing at home plate, shaking it off, and manager Greg Langbang coming out. So is the trainer Jess Borgen for the Wild Things, as Heck grimacing in pain to the left side of home plate. 6-1, the Traverse City Beach Bums currently lead this one here in the top of inning number 8. A no ball, 2 strike count on Andrew Heck with nobody out. Your Wild Things entered today currently 2 games back of that 4th wild card spot, right behind the normal Corn Belters. Corn Belters losing earlier today to the Florence Freedom by the score of 13-3. So if the Wild Things can somehow come back and win this ball game, they could gain a gain on them. However, Normal and Florence going to play game 2 of their doubleheader here sometime shortly. Action around the Frontier League. Some games currently going on in the top of the 1st. Gateway and Illinois are scoreless in game 2 of their doubleheader. Right now on the top of the 6th, Lake Erie leads Windy City by the score of 4-0 in that ball game. And then currently Traverse City leading over your Washington Wild Things 6-1. Some finals from earlier today. In game 1 of that doubleheader, Southern Illinois beat Gateway 8-2. River City beat Evansville 5-4. Game 1 of that doubleheader. And Schaumburg beat Joliet 2-1 in their game. And Florence defeated Normal 13-3 in game 1 of their doubleheader. Wild Things currently down to the Beach Bums 6-1 as Andrew Heck stepping back in. No balls and 2 strikes. Rob Blanc has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2 offering. And this ball fouled back to the screen. Hits off the top of the screen. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Andrew Heck shaking his hand out once again after fouling that one off. As he got the ball, got his bat, and then his hand as he pulled back on the bunt on the second pitch of this at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Blanc has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Heck checks his swing and takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Heck, the leadoff man for the Wild Things. Has been in the Wild Things outfield since 2012. Blanc has his sign. He's set in the 1-2 pitch. And Heck lines this one to center field and deep. Marcus Dirks going back a couple of steps, but he's going to make the catch in front of the track, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 1 for 3, flew out in the first, singled in the third, and struck out in inning number 5. 1 man out in this top of the 8th inning, 6-1. The Wild Things trail the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 3 can be heard tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch right here on the MSA Sports Network. Luke Wilkins taking the mound for the Wild Things, facing off against Kramer Champlin. Blanc has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Grayson takes this one high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. 1 man out in this top of the 8th. Rob Blanc trying to get through his second inning of relief for Traverse City. Blanc has his sign, the 1-0. And Grayson checks his swing, takes this one for a strike on the outside corner, however, as the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Wild Things left-handed hitting center fielder. Grayson was signed a week before the All-Star break. Blanc has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Grayson, chased one out of the zone, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out here in this top of the 8th. 6-1, Traverse City leads. More action in the Traverse City bullpen as a lefty starts to loosen up out there once again. Here's the 1-2, and this ball popped up. Behind home plate, Kendall Patrick giving chase. He doesn't see it, as that one will land off of the screen, foul, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Kendall Patrick looked up on that one and ended up losing it in the sky. As it turns out, it hits off the screen and lands in foul territory, so Grayson gets another chance. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Rob Blanc, the righty, in for his second inning of work for Traverse City. Blanc looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Grayson takes this one low for a ball. Count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 5-pitch at bat for Andrew Heck to start this inning off. And now a 6-pitch at bat here for Chris Grayson. Rob Blanc looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the 2-2. This ball line foul off to the right and hits off the Wild Things bullpen. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Rob Blanc, last time he faced the Wild Things, he actually picked up a win on June the 23rd. In that ball game, went 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit and no runs, striking out 3 in that one. Blanc looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball lined towards center field. Marcus Dirks not having to move, and that'll actually fall in front of him for a base hit as Dirks misread it, throwing to second, and Grayson is thrown out trying to extend that single into a double. So it's a base hit for Chris Grayson. However, he is thrown out trying to advance to second, so there are now 2 men out here in this 8th inning, and not very good base running there by Chris Grayson. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 0 for 3, struck out in the first, flew out in the third, and flew out in inning number 6. Grayson hitting that one a little softer than I thought he did as it fell into shallow center field. Grayson booking it out of the box and tried to get into second, but was just late on a strong throw there by Marcus Dirks. So now 2 men out. Blanc has his sign, and the pitch on the way. Rodriguez takes this one high for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman, batting right-handed against the right-hander Rob Blanc. Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set in the 1-0. And this one swung on and missed by Rodriguez. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. 2 men out in this top of the 8th inning. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Beach Bums. 1 run, 4 hits, and an error for your Wild Things. Blanc has his sign, he's set in the 1-1. Swing and a miss there by Rodriguez, and the count swells now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. 2 men out in this top of the 8th inning. Wild Things trying to get something started with 2 outs. Blanc has his sign, he's set in the 1-2. And up and in, and this one's going to get a piece of Rodriguez. Hit him on the forearm, not very happy about getting hit by that pitch, as he'll run down to first now. Actually, no, they say that got the knob of the bat. So Rodriguez not hit by a pitch, as the count goes to 1-2. Or stays at 1-2, excuse me. They say that got a piece of the bat. Rodriguez looked like it got him on the forearm, but he'll step back in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2, and this one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez having to lean out of the way of that pitch 2 pitches ago, and it just got the knob of the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Blanc has his sign, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out, and that ends the inning. First strikeout of the night for Rob Blanc, and no runs in the inning for the Wild Things on just 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 7.5, the score, Traverse City 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 8th, and the score, Traverse City 6 and your Washington Wild Things 1. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things, as it'll be left-hander Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe so far on the year has a record of 2-1, a 5.19 ERA, appearing in his 19th game. He's made 3 starts this year for the Wild Things. Has thrown 34 2/3 innings of work, giving up 22 runs, 20 of them earned on 37 hits, 31 strikeouts, and 10 walks on the year for Brian O'Keefe. Final line on Christian Powell. Powell went 2 innings, did not give up a run on 2 hits, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 2. Took him 25 pitches to get through his 2 innings of work. So Brian O'Keefe on for the Wild Things. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Marcus Dirks singled to lead things off, then Ryan Bacher hit into a fielder's choice. Jose Vargas followed that up with a fielder's choice of his own, and Will Kenger flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, Steve Patterson, Elijah Trail, and Giancarlo Bergoni. Patterson making his way to the plate now. So far in this ballgame, Patterson 2 for 3, singled and scored a run in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and singled and scored a run in inning number 6. Brian O'Keefe looking in, has his sign, the pitch, and that one swung on and missed by Patterson. The count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums second baseman. Brian O'Keefe into the ball game for the Washington Wild Things. Third pitcher used, the 0-1, and that one's popped foul, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Steven Patterson, batting in the number 5 hole for the Traverse City Beach Bums. As Brian O'Keefe looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And this one grounded to the right side. Jimmy Yezzo will handle it on a hop. He flips to O'Keefe covering, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in this 8th, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Elijah Trail. Trail so far is 1 for 3, struck out in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, and struck out in inning number 6. Now, Brian O'Keefe has been very good out of the bullpen for the Washington Wild Things. It's been his starts that he's been shaky in. His last outing, however, the bullpen not so great. 2/3 gave up 2 runs against Lake Erie, but 2 outings go out of the bullpen, won a scoreless inning against Evansville. His last start came against River City, went 3, gave up 6. Here's the pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. He's had 1 very good start in the year and 2 very bad ones, but his bullpen work has been outstanding this season. The 1-0, and that one swung on and missed by Trail, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Of his 19 appearances out of the bullpen this year, he has only given up a run 5 times on the season. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as that one is in there as well, as O'Keefe gets ahead of Elijah Trail, 1-2. O'Keefe has his sign, the 1-2, and this one's a called strike 3. Strikes out Elijah Trail, and that's out number 2 here in this 8th inning. First strikeout of the day for Brian O'Keefe, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni so far 1 for 3, a 2-run home run in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and struck out in inning number 6. 2 men out, top of the 8th, 6-1. Traverse City leads over your Washington Wild Things. O'Keefe has his sign. Here's the pitch, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. O'Keefe looking for a 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen. It'd be the Wild Things' first 1-2-3 inning since back in the 3rd. Here's the 1-0, and this ball hit towards center field. Chris Grayson going back on it a couple of steps, and he's going to make the catch in front of the track, and that's good for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Traverse City Beach Bums here in the 8th. On to the 9th, and the score, Traverse City 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 9th, and the score, Traverse City 6 and your Washington Wild Things 1. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums, as it will be right-hander Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera so far in the year, 0-2 with a 3.52 ERA, appearing in his 27th game. Has thrown 23 innings of work, giving up 13 runs, 9 of them earned on 34 hits, walked 6, and struck out 26 in the ball game. Left-hander Joe Anthony Rivera. Rivera appeared in last night's ball game through an inning of work, gave up 1 run in the inning on 1 hit, walked 1, and did not strike out anybody through 15 pitches in last night's ball game. The run he gave up was on the RBI double by Chris Grayson. Grayson will be thrown out trying to get to third to extend that one. Due up here in the 9th for the Wild Things as they try to come back is Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Justin Garcia, 4, 5, and 6. Facing off against Joe Anthony Rivera. So the Wild Things down 6-1. Need 5 to tie, 6 to take the lead here in the top of the 9th at Werfel Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, right here at Werfel Park, back on the MSA Sports Network. Luke Wilkins taking the mound for your Washington Wild Things. He will be opposed by Kramer Champlin for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things pregame show can be heard at 6:50 on the MSA Sports Network. Dave Popkins stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 9th. Popkins so far in this game, 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 4th, and flew out in inning number 6. Popkins going to flip around and bat right-handed for the first time. It's the first lefty he's seen here in this ball game. Rivera looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Rivera going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. His time is called now as Patrick wants to go back through the signs. Joe Anthony Rivera out of the bullpen for Traverse City. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch coming to Dave Popkins. And Popkins hits this one deep to left. It's hooking and will go foul. Popkins gave that one a deep ride to left field. Unfortunately for him, it hooks foul. And that'll just be a long strike one on Dave Popkins. Batting in the number 4 spot for your Washington Wild Things. Joe Anthony Rivera on for his 2nd game here in this series. Rivera looking in. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Popkins lining this one to right field. This one's hooking, and that will land foul as well. That one also had home run distance, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So Dave Popkins giving the first 2 pitches of this at-bat. Nice rides out to the opposite fields, but could not get either of them over the wall in fair territory. For Joe Anthony Rivera, stands in there at 6'3", 215 from Naples, Florida. Rivera looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 0-2 offering to Popkins. That one's low for a ball. Popkins wisely laying off, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins, your offensive star of the game in last night's ball game, hit 2 solo home runs in the 5-4 victory in Game 1 for the Wild Things. Currently down 6-1 here in Game 2 in the top of the 9th. Joe Anthony Rivera looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, top of the ninth. Popkins trying to reach to lead things off. 4, 5, and 6 for the Wild Things due up in this inning. Rivera looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And Popkins takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jimmy Yezzo, the on-deck batter for the Washington Wild Things. He will follow Dave Popkins. 3-2, nobody out. Rivera looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 3 ball, 2 strike offering. And Popkins hits this one to center field. Marcus Dirks drifting to his left a little bit and going back on it. He'll make the catch in front of the track, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things in the top of the ninth, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far on the day, 1 for 3, struck out in the second, singled in the fourth, and struck out in inning number 6. 1 man out in this top of the ninth inning. 6-1, Traverse City leads. Wild Things trying to fight back and keep their positioning in the wild card race. Normal lost game 1 of their doubleheader to the Florence Freedom, so the worst the Wild Things can do if they lose here is just drop a half a game to the Corn Belters. Rivera has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And this one grounded to third. Vargas will handle it. He throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in this ninth inning, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far on the day, 1 for 3, a solo home run in inning number 2, struck out in the fourth, and flew out in inning number 7. Garcia represents the last chance for the Washington Wild Things here in this one. 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Wild Things down 6-1 as they're going to need a big 2-out rally to come back here in this ball game. Joe Anthony Rivera looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Garcia takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Justin Garcia, batting left-handed against the lefty Joe Anthony Rivera, looking to close this game out. Rivera looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 pitch. Garcia pops this one up, shallow center. In comes Marcus Dirks. He calls everyone off, and he'll make the catch, and this ball game is over. Final score, Traverse City 6, and your Washington Wild Things 1, as Traverse City takes Game 2 of this 3-game series from your Washington Wild Things. The winning pitcher in this one, Augie Gallardo, improves to 1-0, and the losing pitcher, Matt Snyder. Snyder falls to 1-1 on the season. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with the Washington Wild Things postgame show. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score tonight, the Traverse City Beach Bums take Game 2 from your Washington Wild Things, 6-1. Winning pitcher Augie Gallardo gets a win in his professional debut, and the loss going to Matt Snyder. Snyder falls to 1-1 on the season. Scoring recap for you in this one. The Wild Things would actually take the early lead in the top of inning number 2. Dave Popkins and Jimmy Yezzo would each strike out to begin the game. Then Justin Garcia came through with a solo home run, his first home run as a Washington Wild Thing. Got it over the right field wall, and the Wild Things took the early lead 1-0. Kyle Pollock would pop out to end the inning. Traverse City would respond in that bottom of the second inning. Will Kendra popped out, then Stephen Patterson singled. Elijah Trail would strike out, and Giancarlo Bergoni came through with a 2-run home run over the right field wall. That gave Traverse City a 2-1 lead. Next batter, Kendall Patrick, would reach on an error before Jeff W. grounded out to end the inning. That solo home run, all the Wild Things could muster off of Augie Gallardo. Gallardo was very good in his professional debut. The Traverse City Beach Bums got him more runs in the bottom of the fifth. Kendall Patrick struck out to lead things off. Then Jeff W. would fly out. Marcus Dirks walked with 2 men out before he stole second base. It was his 12th stolen base of the year. That put a runner at second with 2 men out before Ryan Bacher singled on an RBI, and that brought Marcus Dirks in. That gave Traverse City a 3-1 lead. Next batter, Jose Vargas, would add an RBI double of his own. Bacher came to score, and that gave Traverse City a 4-1 lead. Vargas was thrown out trying to advance to third on the play. Bottom of the 6th, Traverse City would get right back on the board against Matt Snyder. Will Kendra singled to lead things off. Then Stephen Patterson singled to put runners at first and second with nobody out before Elijah Trail struck out, and that would be all for the starter, Matt Snyder. Christian Powell came in to relieve him. He struck out Giancarlo Bergoni, but then Kendall Patrick came through with a 2 RBI double. Both Kendra and Patterson would score, and Traverse City took a 6-1 lead. Jeff Debut would fly out to end that inning. Final line for the starter, Matt Snyder. Snyder ended up going 5 1/3 in this ball game, giving up 6 runs. All of those runs were earned on 6 hits while walking 1 and striking out 5. That last inning really getting to Matt Snyder and causing him trouble on the night. Christian Powell would then throw 2 scoreless innings of relief, giving up 2 hits. His first 2 appearances have been scoreless out of the bullpen for the Wild Things, and Brian O'Keefe threw a scoreless inning as well, striking out 1 and throwing 9 pitches on the night. But Augie Gallardo was fantastic in this ball game in his professional debut. 6 innings of work, giving up 1 run in the game on 3 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. Took him 101 pitches to get through that inning. The Wild Things came to bat in the top of the 9th, down by 5, facing off against Joe Anthony Rivera. Dave Popkins would fly out after having a 6-pitch at bat. Jimmy Yezzo would ground out, and Justin Garcia would fly out. That would end the game. Final score, Traverse City 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. The totals in this game for the victorious Traverse City Beach Bums, they improved to 34 and 44 on the season. They had 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Their winning pitcher, Augie Gallardo. Gallardo improves to 1-0 in his professional debut. Gallardo going 6, giving up 1 run. It was earned on 3 hits, walking 2, and striking out 7, throwing 101 pitches on the night. For the Washington Wild Things, they fall to 38 and 40 on the year. They got 1 run on 4 hits and committed 1 error in the ball game. Their losing pitcher was Matt Snyder. Snyder falls to 1-1, going 5 1/3, giving up 6 runs, all earned on 6 hits, walking 1 and striking out 5, needing 83 pitches to get through those 5 1/3 innings of work. Wild Things came into today 2 games back of that fourth seed, the second wild card spot in the Frontier League East. As the normal Corn Belchers of the team, they are trailing. Looking at some scores from around the league, earlier today, the Schaumburg Boomers defeated the Joliet Slammers 2-1 in Schaumburg at their baseball stadium. That was a solo game played this afternoon. Then in game 1 of the doubleheader at Carshield Field in O'Fallon, Missouri, the River City Rascals handled the Evansville Otters by a score of 5-4 at Rent-One Park in Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois took care of Gateway in game 1 of their doubleheader, 8-2. The Florence Freedom defeated the normal Corn Belchers 13-3 in game 1 of that doubleheader in Florence, Kentucky. Couple of games still in progress. Lake Erie currently defeating Windy City 4-0 in the top of the 7th in Avon, Ohio. The Southern Illinois Miners are defeating the Gateway Grizzlies 3-1 in the bottom of the 2nd at Rent-One Park in game 2 of that doubleheader. And Normal has an early lead over Florence 1-0 in Florence, Kentucky in game 2 of that doubleheader. Final score here tonight from Werfel Park. Wild Things drop game 2, 6-1. Your Washington Wild Things player of the game for this one, we're going to give it to Justin Garcia. Garcia hitting his first Wild Things home run, a solo shot over the right field wall, providing the only offense for the Wild Things today. Garcia goes 1 for 4 with that solo home run, so he earns your Washington Wild Things star of the game. Next Wild Things broadcast tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch for Game 3 of this 3-game series. Luke Wilkins taking the mound for your Washington Wild Things against Kramer Champlin in the rubber match of the 3-game series here at Werfel Park. However, final score tonight, Traverse City defeats your Washington Wild Things 6-1. I'm Zach Ziegler from Traverse City, Michigan and Werfel Park. I say, have a good night, everybody.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.